Okay, so I'm almost finished with The Dark Side Down, the third book in the Nameless Saga, which of course you know because you're helping to inspire the writing of that book. Now, usually when you and I are writing a book together, it always goes off smoothly, right? And I'm talking about the actual writing of the book, the structure of the book. We have our inciting incident, we hit a climax, and then we have a nice denouement that takes us to the close. But that's never been the case with the Nameless Saga, and it's intentional. I've always, with this series, I've always wanted to write these books in such a way that left the reader teetering on this precipice of truth and reality, and unsure of whether they want to toss themselves into this chasm and accept what I've given them. It has been my goal to challenge the truth and challenge reality, and always make sure the reader wasn't quite sure what was either going on or what was going to happen. And sometimes, however, in the process of doing that, I find myself under that same spell. And just when I think the ending is there, you tap me on the shoulder and you say, "Au contraire, mon ami, we have more to say." And it makes sense. I could have ended this book a couple of nights ago, but then in retrospect, had I ended it at that point, it would have been too pat, too not complacent, but too typical of the horror genre. It would have been too easy. And this series is not about the easy out. This series has always been about complexity and throwing so much into the story and keeping the readers doubting. And so the other night, when I thought that it ended, I kept going. And I said, "No, we can't end it there." And you agreed with me. And we journeyed on. And now I'm pushing the characters. Not inorganically. It's all organic, but I'm pushing these characters and in ways that bending my own rules and reality. The realities that I actually created for this series, and it's great. And it's great because it's a great feeling when the general you as an author assume you know exactly what this universe is about. But I think it does the author an injustice to become inflexible in what that is, what that universe is. Because we all know that happy accidents occur and during the writing process. And if you're unbending, unyielding in that universe, you're going to deny it some incredible possibility. And so the last few nights of writing, I've just kind of tossed all the rules out the window and said, you know what? We're in hell. We are dealing with demons, and I have already rewritten religion to suit the needs of this series. It's fiction, of course. I can do that. So why not? Why not? Since I've already tossed out the rules of logic as they apply to the human race and to history, why not at some point throw out the rules of logic and order for the universe that I've created and just say, let's just turn it on its head and see what happens. I think it's exactly what the series needed. I haven't. It's not like I've killed anybody in the series, killed off any of the main characters. I've just kind of taken the narrative and made the narrative question who the main characters are and what the main characters' intentions are. What are their goals? Or what's in the way of their goals? I mean, that's just dramaturgy 101. And sometimes it's so great to go back to that. To go back to saying, okay, what are these characters' needs and what is in the way of their needs? And how can I invert those needs or fold them inside out and turn the characters' needs against them? Sometimes this Muse, don't take this wrong, okay? But sometimes the act of playing God as an artist, as a writer, in and of itself empowers the artist. Does that make sense? And it allows us to, it affords us the ego and the audacity to do the craziest things that we may not have ever done otherwise. And sometimes that's what and there's kind of a 7-layer dip of irony in this, in the idea of me playing God in this series, especially considering who I've introduced into the series at this point, in this third book. And while I'm writing this third book, while I'm writing The Dark Side Down, I'm thinking, where is this going to go in the next book? Good gravy. But I know that you'll come through, and it'll be a while before I write the fourth book because I'm going to need a break from it. But I know you and I, we got it going. Anyway, it's really exciting, and I'm really anxious to see what my editor thinks of this one. Now, considering this is, she hasn't edited any of this series, so it's going to be interesting what she thinks of it. Anyway, sorry, Muse. I know that you're busy right now. It's probably have a lot of other artists that you're inspiring. Although I'd like to think that I was your only artist. Are you cheating on me? Okay. Back to it, right? I know. I've blathered on long enough. Breathe in, breathe out.